Well, welcome to today's Birthing Your Greatness Summit. Oh my gosh, guys, I cannot believe that week two is already coming to a close. And when I don't know if anybody knows anything about track and field and that anchor leg, but that anchor leg, man, at the end of that anchor leg is usually the one that brings it on home. Okay. You want your strongest at the very end, because if there is anything that needs to be brought up, if there's anything that needs to be caught up, that person's going to do it. Well, guys, let me introduce to you this week's anchor. Osazee O. Thompson is in the house. Hey, Osazee, how are you?
Hey, good, good. How you doing?
Amazing, amazing. So I'm about to get out of you guys' way. We are in the midst of our Birthing Your Greatness Summit, our lunchtime learning today, and this is going to be powerful. You are destined for greatness, and Osazee's going to bring it home. So Osazee, I'm going to turn it over to you.
All right. Okay. All right. I'm just waiting for a moment here. Let a few people get in here. How many of you out there are ready to birth your greatness? I want to ask you that question, whether you're live right now or whether you're watching it by replay. You are absolutely ready to birth the greatness that's in you. Because I believe, even though I may not know you, even though I don't see you right now, I know for a fact, I know of a truth that there's greatness within you. Because God creates everything for a purpose and for a reason, and he makes no mistakes. There are no mistakes in him. And so I know that there's greatness in you, but I need you to see it. I need you to be convinced that there is greatness in you, and that the only way that greatness is really going to come out is you, one, understand and identify the gifts that you have, right? Because the gifts that were given to you for a reason, right? The gifts that you have are for a specific use, are for a specific purpose. And so it's important that you begin to understand that, wait a minute, my life has meaning. There's something that I'm supposed to be doing right now. It's not just working a job. It's not just taking up air, right? There's something specific that I'm supposed to be doing. And so what I want to share with you today is how to develop those gifts. Now, this is in no way an exhaustive presentation about that. In fact, at the end of this, I want to give you an invitation to send me an email if you're interested in a 30-minute consultative session with myself. And we're going to go through where you are and where you desire to be. And at the end, I'll have my information there, and you can actually email me so that you'll be in position to get this consultation, and we can begin the road to you birthing your greatness, because you are definitely destined for greatness. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and start here. Understand that we all have a purpose, as I mentioned before. And many times when we talk about purpose, I define it as the original intent by design of a creator or manufacturer of any person, place, or thing. So simply put, the person who originates a thing has a specific intent or purpose in his or her mind for that thing. And so we're no different. We came from God. We're made in his image and after his likeness. And so everything that he does very intentionally, very deliberately. And so even though you may not know what that purpose is right now, God does. And he wants to get that information to you. And he has people like myself to begin to give you clues and give you instruction and give you knowledge and insight on how to tap that. So if you see here, there's a little illustration that I have here. And what it says in the green is, understand there's a mission that you have in life. And that mission also comes from a calling, or this word vocation here in the Latin is vocar. That means to call. And so what happens is there is a deep calling inside of each one of us that's leading us or pointing us in a direction to fulfill a specific thing that we're here on earth to do. Now, many times that displays itself in a business or even in a career, right? Because those things that we do provide answers, and the answers that we have in life serve a purpose for someone, right? And so we cannot be an island to ourselves, because each individual in this earth has issues and problems, and there's gaps and so forth in our life. And we all help each other to fill those gaps. And God uses us each to help each other. It's like a community. And so from that, we have a profession. If you see here, we're following in the green. And then that passion is fueling every day you get up, the passion that you have to empower another person, to do your business, to run your ministry, right? To work in your career. That's fueling you, because whatever you do, hopefully you love doing it. And whatever you love to do is obviously, a reason why, because you're good at it. And you're good at it. So what? You should be paid for that. And we're going to get into that later in the presentation, but you should absolutely be paid for the knowledge you provide, for the answers that you provide. It's called the law of exchange. Whenever you give value, it should be reciprocated back to you. And it just so happens that if you're in business or whatever you're doing, maybe it's just a product or service that you have. Maybe it's not a business, but it's a product or service that you're providing in the form of value. You should be compensated for that. And then it's obviously something that the world needs. So if you want to even take a screenshot, go ahead and take a screenshot of this, because this is going to help you as we move through the presentation today. All right. So one of the biggest reasons people fail in life and business, right? Because I am a certified professional life coach, a business coach, and a licensed financial services professional. And so I help people to grow their net worth and build their self-worth, right? And so we're talking about life and business. And so one of the biggest things or reasons why people fail in their life or in their business is because of lack of clarity. Simply put, when you have a clear identity about who you are, and you have a full knowledge of why you are in the earth, your gifts, your talents, the resources that you have, the resources and answers that you're providing, now you're being positioned to be successful. Because success by definition is not simply, gaining lots of money or having a lot of material possessions. It's simply, one, identifying what your purpose is and fulfilling that purpose. Think about it. If I assign for you to, let's say somebody's cleaning a house, and I tell them, hey, I want you to wash these dishes. I want you to get these dishes clean. I'm leaving out right now, but when I come back, I want these dishes clean. That is their purpose in the context of what they're supposed to be doing. Now, let's say while I'm gone, they end up dusting the whole house. They clean the floors. You can see yourself in that floor, right? They go through and they do all the vacuuming, but they don't do the dishes. Let me ask you a question. Were they successful? No. The answer is no. Why? Because they did not complete the assignment that they were given. And so a lot of people in life are doing a lot of good things. But if it is not in alignment with what they were born to do, what they were called to do, what they were given life on this earth to do, then they're not really successful by definition, right? So it's a lot of people walking around here in life now, lots of money, right? Seemingly have a good life. But at the end of the day, there's something calling inside, like we talked earlier. There's something inside calling, saying, hey, there's more. There's more. This is what you're supposed to be doing. And God has placed desires in our heart. Why? To point us in the direction of our purpose. And that's what we're talking about. So I want you to answer these 5 questions as we go through. Again, you can take screenshots and so forth. Number 1, the question of who am I? The question of where am I from? Because again, you cannot be successful in life or in business if you're not clear on these things. Why am I here? What can I do? And where am I going? Okay. So number one, who am I? That answers the question of your identity. Your identity. You have a unique identity. And if you have any of my books, I talk about that signature life that you're supposed to live. And there is a signature life that you're supposed to live. You are a unique designer's original. You never forget that. So it's no need for you to compete and compare with other people, because competing says, hey, I'm better than this person. I can beat them at being who they are. So you can try to compete with them. Foolish. The next thing is comparing. Comparing says, God, you didn't make me good enough. I think I need to measure up to be like this other person. Trying to compare yourself with other people. And you were never meant to do that, because you have your own unique identity. Just like we all have different fingerprints, we all have a different iris. Think about it. That's amazing. Over 7.2 billion people in this world, and each one of us has our own unique set of fingerprints. We have our own unique iris. No one has ever had that same print, and no one ever will. So that makes you unique. You need to see yourself like that. Now, this next point I'm gonna bring up, as far as our uniqueness, it speaks volumes to who God is. Now, when man and woman come together to create life, I'm not gonna go there, but you know what that means. There's over 499 million sperm released. And out of 499 million estimated, you were the one that made it. So that speaks volumes to your worth, your ability, right? There's something that you're supposed to be doing. So you got to identify, who am I? The next question is, where am I from? Your source. Everything has a source. Listen, if you want to be successful in life, if you want to release your greatness, you have to see, what am I from? Where am I from? And you're from God. God made you. Just like a cat came, he produces a cat. A fish produces a fish, right? God produced man, and that's us. Scripture says that we were born in his image and after his likeness. So that is our source. When we talk about source, that word source or father in the Hebrew is Abba. So it's important that you begin to understand who you're from. So you were made to be successful, because God is successful. God makes no mistakes. And you came from him. So you got to begin to tap into that identity of who he made you to be. And then remember, hey, I'm from God. God has created me in his image and after his likeness. So there's something big that I'm supposed to do. Don't think small. Promise yourself this. Make a commitment to yourself that you're not going to think small again. Make a commitment to yourself that you're going to go from local thinking to global thinking, because God has big plans for you. Next question. Why am I here? This answers the question of your purpose. And we've talked about that. Why are you here? The next question is answering your potential. What can I do? What in the world do I have the ability to do? Have you ever thought about that? Have you ever explored or began to do some research or mining and refining inside the gifts that you have? What are you good at? What do you love to do? What have you been told that you're good at? What types of things do you naturally gravitate to? What types of things in your life have you said in your life, wow, I don't know if I can make this, but you continue to press ahead and push, and you end up accomplishing that thing, or you end up overcoming whatever it was? That's the potential inside of you. Now, potential actually means like hidden ability or hidden gift or hidden potential, hidden talent. And that's in all of us. That's in all of us. So the next time you meet a challenge in your life and you think that you can't do it, dig deeper. And I guarantee you can overcome it. So you have to understand that there's potential in you that's trying to get out right now, even while you're watching this right now. The next question, where am I going? It answers the question of destiny. Destiny is a short word for a long word called destination. Where are you going? And as a leader, when we talk about purpose, there is an element of leadership in there, because no one else is going to fulfill your purpose for you. You're going to have to do it. So you're going to have to rise up in leadership and say, you know what? I'm supposed to lead the charge in this. I'm supposed to be the one out front in this. And God will begin to give you that. He'll begin to direct you in that way. And what happens is you're going to have to begin to take responsibility for the ability that you have. And you're going to have to do it because you're going somewhere. And as you go, other people are going to follow. So where are you taking them? Where are you going and where are you taking the people that's following you? You have to be clear on that. So a couple things here. We talk about discovering purpose. Discovering purpose is a couple of different ways you can do it, right? Now, this is in no way, again, exhaustive of the topic. If you want to do that, you'll absolutely have to be a part of the free, or what's like I like to say, complimentary 30-minute coaching set. All you got to do is email me, Osazee@OsazeeThompson.com. Email me today. I want to help you. I want to get in front of you and show you how you can begin to live your best life and release that greatness in you. So one, natural giftings. Okay. When we talk about you discovering your purpose, that's one of the primary ways that's going to point you in the direction to show you, wait a minute, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Right. And so the gift, God gives you a gift for a reason. And I like to say it this way, that your purpose is captured in your gifting. Your purpose for your life is captured in your giftings. Why? Because when you begin to step out and do what you were supposed to do, what you've been born to do, what happens is the gift began to come out. And that's that potential. And you're like, man, I never knew I can do that. I never knew that I can make that much money. I never knew that I can help so many people. I never knew that I can start and grow a business. Well, yes, you can. But you got to begin to find out, what is the gift in me? What am I good at? Next one is passionate interest. Passionate interest simply means it's a certain people group that maybe you have a passion to help. There's a certain problem in society that you like, man, these people need help. Well, God has put an answer in you. He's raising you up to be that answer, right? He's not waiting on you to just pray about it. He's put the answers in you so you can go and be the answer. You need to be the answer to those problems that you see in society that just grieves you many times. You're the answer. And so passionate interest is leading you into understanding your purpose. Then discoveries and occurrences. Those are things that you're currently operating in. However, it's never occurred to you that this is what you're supposed to be doing right now. So you got to begin to see, wait a minute. I think I'm supposed to be doing this. Maybe it's a certain thing that you volunteer for, right? You can turn that into a business. Maybe there's a thing that you have experienced in your own life and you've overcome that and you have now answers to help others who've experienced the same or similar things to be the answer for them. Again, it's about you adding value and providing answers to the people in your world. Discovering your purpose. Natural giftings point to your purpose. Passionate interests point to your purpose. Discoveries and occurrences point to your purpose. Now we're talking about potential. Remember we talked about potential a little earlier. Potential then, if you see here, is an acorn. Now, I don't know if you know, but the acorn is the seed of an oak tree. That's right. That little bitty seed, that's a seed, right? And sometimes people see it and they kick it. But in essence, that thing houses the DNA for a mighty oak tree. And so potential means to have or show the capacity to become or develop into something. Simply put, there's greatness in you. Now, I don't know exactly what the greatness is in you, but it'll be revealed to you. And the only way I will know and the rest of the world will know is if you step out and begin to act on it, begin to move on it. There's ideas in you right now. There's creativity flowing in you right now. But the difference between you making it and not is going to be you overcoming that fear. Many times there's fears about, what if I run out of money? Or what if I don't have the right resources? Or what if this? Or what if that? You got to dispel all of that. And you got to understand that, wait a minute, there is potential in me through the gifts that I have to provide answers. And so That potential is the greatness packed inside of you, waiting to be actualized. Like I said earlier, that little acorn houses a mighty oak tree. Now, if you see this illustration here, this is a human being right here. This is a person right here. This is a lady. Now, look at the size and the immensity of that tree. Look at that tree. That thing is massive. And all of that came from this little bitty nut. Now, think about it. Think about yourself. Think about where you are in your life right now. And then think about the potential of what you could be. Because what you could be, you already are. It's already inside of you, right? The only thing that this nut did was it was buried. It was buried. There was dirt placed on it. It was in obscurity. Some people obviously could have walked over it. They didn't know it was under the ground. But one day it began to produce a shoot and a root. And it grew into a mighty oak tree. So you got to begin to say, wait a minute, I'm not just a nut, right? There's more to me. Look at this. Look at this tree. I want you to see that. The massive tree came from this small nut. And that small, what you think is a small idea, right? Or an idea that may not ever come to pass. It won't if you don't act on it. So you're going to have to act on it. You're going to have to move on it. You're going to have to motivate yourself. Stop waiting on somebody to motivate you and somebody to push you. You're going to have to do that. You're going to have to, again, be responsible for releasing the answers that you have inside of you, because somebody's waiting on it. Somebody needs it. So I want to talk about the law of recognition. The law of recognition says everything that you'll ever need to be successful or release your greatness is already inside of you, merely awaiting your recognition of it. I'm going to let you think about that for a minute. Everything you'll ever need is already in you, waiting on you to recognize it. When are you going to recognize, right? Then Ice Cube, you just say that you better recognize. Recognize that that's in you. Recognize that greatness that's in you. Recognize that there's somebody waiting on me right now to create this product to solve this, right? Or to put together my service to provide a service for that. Somebody waiting on you. I guarantee it. And let me tell you this. If you've experienced a problem in your life and you have seen or used a product or service to answer that, then inversely, somebody needs the same thing for you. Somebody needs that from you. Somebody needs that answer. And so what happens is when you begin to recognize, and when I talk about recognize, that means to mine, to refine, and to deploy that gift in you. To mine it, that means to search for it, see, man, what am I good at? To refine it, once you've discovered it, begin to develop it, put it together, and then deploy it. Put it out there. Take that risk. Step out in faith. Do it. So your process of development, this is important. Your process of development has everything to do with you understanding that there is greatness in you. Do you understand that? Do you realize that? Because that potential comes from inside of you. So you can't look to someone else to work out your own potential. That's what I said earlier. You're going to have to take responsibility to release the ability that's in you. You're going to have to do that. You're going to have to take responsibility to release that potential. And once you do, you will never be broke another day in your life. I'm going to say that again. A lot of times people suffer financially because, one, they have not really understood and discovered what they're here on earth to do. They haven't discovered their purpose. They haven't discovered the reason why they're here. And so now they're just barely getting by. they're barely hanging on. They're frustrated at their job or frustrated in their career. Why? Because they've never really understood why they're here. Excuse me. They never understood that they are here for a reason. And what happens is there is a process to your development. A lot of times people don't want to go through that process. They don't want to endure the process to produce the product of who they were born to be because it's inconvenient, because it gets tough at times, because it requires your total buy-in, your total commitment to doing or being whatever that thing you're supposed to be or do. So as you go through your process, you got to always remember that there's potential in me. And if I've come to a place in my life that it seems really hard, it seems like, man, I don't know if I can do this, then you gotta have a yes, I can on the inside, because you can. There's a reason why you came up against that challenge. There's a reason why you came up against that problem, and it's called opportunity. Don't look at it as a challenge or something that you cannot overcome. Look at it as an opportunity. Look at it as an opportunity not only to learn something more, but also to create an answer. Because I can guarantee you, if you have a problem with it, there's somebody else in the world who has a problem with it. And why not you take that answer, package it, and deliver it to the marketplace, and again, exchange of value. When you exchange value for value, that gives you a sense of fulfillment because you feel as though you are significant, right? I've heard it said this way. The first half of our lives, we live to be successful. We want to be successful. We want to make a lot of money. We want to, do whatever it is that we desire to do. But the second half of our life is usually spent looking for significance. How can I reach back? How can I pass down what I know to the next generation? And so you need to begin to see yourself, one, as successful, because you are a success. Once you've identified what it is you're supposed to do and you're on your way to doing it, that's what success is, accomplishing what you were born to do. And then two, see yourself as significant. There is a level of significance that's in you that you probably don't even realize right now. Why? Because you haven't stepped out. And I'm telling you, it's always something in the back of your mind telling you, oh no, you're not, they don't want to hear what you have to say. They don't want to, no one's going to buy your product. No one's going to support you. I'm telling you, you got to shut down all of that negative self-talk. And you got to just step out in faith and say, you know what? I'm going to start that business. I'm going to launch that ministry, whatever that thing is. I'm going to work on developing this product. I'm going to work on creating a service for someone. And once you do that, I'm telling you, that's when you're going to take off. That's when you're going to get to that next level. So working on your gifts. If you were to take inventory of your gifts, and I would like for you to do that. I would like for you to write down, if you have some paper in front of you right now, and a pen or something, I want you to write down what gifts you believe you have. Because I'm telling you, once you identify that gift, then the creativity explodes. The creativity comes alive. And the same thing that some of these people have done, athletes and entertainers, business people in business, billionaires who have taken a risk and won in life, right? Personal brands. Maybe you're supposed to be a personal brand. Maybe you're supposed to be a person of influence. Maybe you're coaching, maybe author, maybe a speaker. That's in you right now. Maybe a teacher. Maybe you have a desire to teach. Maybe it's something that you want to do in the way of teaching, right? So all of these things, maybe politics. We definitely need people who will be in place as public servants and not serving themselves, right? That's a whole nother issue. But what you want to see yourself as doing something. There's something in you. There's some ability in you that you must work out. There's something that you're supposed to be doing. There's some place that you're supposed to be going. Remember earlier, we talked about that with regard to your image and the identity. We talked about that. We talked about you have coming from God. He's your source, and he's giving you life to do something. You got to identify, what is this that I'm supposed to be doing? You have to begin to abandon every negative limiting belief that you have held about yourself. I'm talking about from when you were 7 years old, when you were 12 years old, and they said you couldn't do it, or the teacher, gave you a bad mark, and that made an indelible impression on your mind that maybe you are a failure and maybe you can't do it. Well, I want to submit to you today that you can do it. I want to submit to you that there is greatness inside of you, and that there is something that you are supposed to be doing like real time right now to help bring value to our society, to help bring a level of value, not only to your family or your community, but maybe to your city. Maybe you're being raised up to do something great in your city. Maybe there's some gift or talent, ability, some idea that you have that can make life easier for people, that can make life better for people. You're going to have to begin to see that the same way I did. I used to work at a law firm, downtown Chicago. I worked there for 10 years. And at the end, or close to the end of that, close to 10 years, I began to see, wait a minute, it's more to my life than working at this law firm. It's more to my life than clocking in, getting a check every 2 weeks, and paying bills. There has to be more to my life. And so what did I do? First of all, there was a desire that came that said, wait a minute, it's more to my life than this. Then from that desire, I had to make a decision. I had to say, you know what? I like real estate. So I went out and got my realtor's license. I say, I'm very creative. So I started a limited liability design and t-shirt company. Now, I did all of this while I was still working at the law firm. So don't say that you don't have time, because you have time. And oh, by the way, did I mention that the first 4 or 5 years working at this law firm, I was going to school full time and I was working full time. So there is no excuse for you to say, I don't have time. Time is something that you have to manage. Time is something that you have to manage. And so what happens is I said, you know what? I'm going to step out. So I left that law firm, downtown Chicago, had great pay, benefits, personal days, vacation days, the whole deal. But I had to take a chance. I had to step out on faith and say, you know what? I'm going to start this business. I'm going to run these businesses. I'm going to be adding value to people for the rest of my life on this earth. And so I started doing that with selling real estate. I started doing that with the limited liability designer t-shirt company. And from that, I began to write books. I didn't know I was an author until I began to write. And I began to put all of these experiences together from my life into a book to help someone else. Again, whatever you have overcome, someone else in the world needs those answers because they're struggling right now. They're perplexed right now. They don't know, but you found the way. So now it's your responsibility to help them to get to where they're supposed to be. Everybody, what does it say? Each one reach one. And if you're in a position to have answers in your life, you've experienced things, you've gone through things in your life, and now you have answers. Now it's your responsibility to pay it forward. Now it's your responsibility to package that thing into a product or service and create a business around it. And that's one of my primary things, what I'm helping people to do right now. I'm helping people to start and grow their business. And if you're looking to start or grow your business, I want to sit down with you. I want to connect with you. I want to connect with you via Zoom. Now, you don't have to be geographically located where I am, because we have technology. And right now, especially since this pandemic, I've made Zoom my virtual office. Now I have a physical office, of course, but I've made Zoom the virtual office where I can meet people all over the world. And I have been doing that. So I want to meet you. I want to sit down with you, and I want to see exactly where you are right now. And we're going to talk about where it is that you desire to be. So even right now, write down my email address. I want to hear from you. Osazee at OsazeeThompson.com. Osazee, O-S-A-Z as in zebra, E-E, Thompson.com. Osazee at OsazeeThompson.com. All right. So understanding how to work this gift. When you begin to identify, hey, there's a gift in me, now you can step out on it. And the only reason that people, again, as I said earlier, they have what I call mistaken identity. Mistaken identity means, one, they've never understood or known who they were. And two, the fact that these answers in them can't get out. They try to compare with other people. They try to compete with other people. And the whole thing about life is really exploring and pulling out of you what God put in you for somebody else. It was never designed for you. Think of a tree. When we talk about this whole concept of adding value and the gifts in you are not for you, but they're for others, a tree. If you see a tree outside and it has fruit, let's say a fruit tree. And recently, my wife and I and a couple of friends and family, so forth, we went out and we picked apples. And it was amazing to me how all of these apples, all different kinds of, it's apples category or of apples that I've never even heard of. And all of it came from a small seed. It was amazing to me. But I began to see, wait a minute, the fruit that I hang on the apple, the tree don't eat the apple fruit. The tree gets its nourishment from the ground, from the dirt, from the rain, from the sun. And it produces fruit for others. And those apples, I must say, they were pretty good. They were really good. And so the same thing with your life. Father God is your source. So that's where you're getting your sustenance from. But he desires for you to produce fruit. And the fruit that you do produce is for other people. The businesses that you start, the ministries that you launch, the products and services that you provide are for other people. And you're supposed to add value to their lives because you were born with answers in you. Believe it or not, right? You were born with answers in you, contrary to what family members said about you, what friends said about you, what old teachers and so forth said about you. Contrary to all that, I want to tell you, listen to me, a voice of influence in your life. You have answers in you to solve problems. And we are paid based on the types of problems that we solve. That's right. You'll be paid based on the type of problems that you solve. So you got to see yourself working out a gift. Is it speaking? Is it coaching? Is it teaching? Right? Is it politics? Is it acting? Right? Is it business? All of these different things here, somebody had an idea and they stepped out on it. And so I don't want you to be any different. There's an idea that you have, and God wants you to operate. It pleases him when you step out. Now, no, you're not going to get it right all the first time because we never do. There's learning process along there. And that's what I said in the last slide, the process of your development. There's a process that you have to go through. There are things that you have to learn and gather along the way. But don't suffer from what a friend of mine says, perfection paralysis, where you think that you have to have everything perfect before you begin or you won't start. And it paralyzes you. And most of the time, if I be quite honest with you, it comes from fear. Fear of what if I leave this job and I don't have income enough to pay for this, or I don't have income to pay for my bills, right? Everybody have bills, and those bills are going to be there. But what about the answers that you were born to provide for someone? What if I would have said, I'm not going to step out. I'm just going to stay comfortable at this law firm, at this job that I've been working at, and I'm going to be cool here. Now you would not have the benefit of hearing from me right now. All of the hundreds, even thousands, I want to say, of people that I have helped over the years because I decided to work my gift. They would not have gotten it. So I want to challenge you. Start where you are with what you have and grow. Again, I'd like to connect with you and we can work together to get you to where you need to be. Because success for all of us begins with identifying what problems we were born to solve. Then moving in that direction for the rest of our life. If you're writing that down, if you're taking notes, you need to write that down. You need to write that down. Listen, the success for your life begins by identifying what problems you were born to solve. So you should write down, success for my life begins by identifying what problems I was born to solve. And then the second half of that is to move in the direction of those problems to solve those problems, right? Again, it's not enough just to know, right? You've heard the expression that knowledge is power. That's true. But what they didn't tell you is it's the applied knowledge that converts to power. It's not just what you know, it's what you do with what you know. And I want to challenge you. Find out what that gift is and begin to go in that direction today. Because the gift, that's your profit center. That's the profit center of your life. That's where, that's like your generation system, right? Your wealth generation system, your WGC, if you want to write that down. Your WGC, your wealth generation center, starts inside of you. It starts inside of you. It's not about how many degrees you got. It's not about who you know. It's not about, how much this job or this industry is offering. Because in a minute, they can give you a pink slip and say, hey, we don't need you no more. Or, hey, the company is folding, so you no longer have a job. Now what are you going to do? Now what are you going to do? When you could have been working the gift in you to build that wealth that you desire. Because let me tell you, once you identify that gift, you can never be unemployed. You can never be unemployed. You have the ability to become unemployable. Why? Because you're the employer. Now you're looking for people to hire. Like this year, I just hired my first assistant. I just hired my first teammate. Now, had I stayed comfortable at that job, I would have never had the opportunity. Now she has an opportunity to develop who she is and her gifts and use her gift within my vision. And that's the way it works. So you should no longer look to be employed, but you should look to employ others. You should look to be the blessing. You should look to be the person who uses your gifts to be a blessing in your world and in the world around you. Okay, got just a little bit more time here. We almost done. But when we talk again, we're talking about success. It begins when you identify where it is that you have been gifted and uniquely talented to reach in life. That's where it begins. So let me share about this, the law of the seed. The law of the seed basically says, let me pull it up for you. Whatever is in your hand, talking about your gifts, your talents, your abilities, whatever is in your hand has the potential to produce what you desire in your heart. I'm gonna let you think about that for a minute. The law of the seed. Whatever is in your hand, whatever you're good at, whatever you've been uniquely gifted to do, is already in you. That goes back to the law of recognition, what we talked about earlier. It's already in you, merely awaiting your recognition of it. So once you found, wait a minute, I'm good at engineering, or I'm good at putting things together, I'm good at very organized, administration. You're good at filing things or creating things or managing things. Find that gift, because whatever that gift is in your hand, it has the potential to produce what you desire in your heart. So I think you should take time to even write down on paper, what is it that I desire for my life? And be honest about it. Don't try to shrink your vision or shrink what you desire based on what you think you can pay for out of your own pocket. Because I'm telling you, the law of the seed, think about it. I just shared with you the story about when me and my family and a couple friends, we went out to pick apples. And it began to occur to me that these little bitty apple seeds produce these rows and rows and rows and rows of trees. I mean, it was huge. It was a lot of apples out there, a lot of trees with all different types of apples. but they came from one little seed. So what seed is that you have? What is that you have in your hand? Is it your smile? Is it your ability to make people laugh? Can you sing? Can you dance? Is it your ability to create? Is it your leadership ability? Is it your managerial ability? What is that? What is that? I want to talk to you about it. I want you to email me. I want you to send me an email so that you can get the free or complimentary 30-minute session with myself. And we're going to kind of dive deep into what it is you desire and where you desire to go. Email me at osazeethompson.com. Now, an easier way to do that, I don't know why I didn't think about this before. You can go to joinpep.me. Joinpep.me. So there's a lot of different ways you can get in touch with me, right? I think they have some on the screen right now. Yeah, where you can get the complimentary call. So go ahead and let's connect. So anyway, back to the law of the seed. Understand that whatever it is that you have in your possession, your gift, in your bag, and I like to talk about it this way. Imagine there were several bags in a room. And in one bag, you look in the bag and it's a stethoscope, it's a thermometer, right? You'd assume that the owner of that bag was a doctor, was a physician, right? Naturally, thinking that way. Let's say you open another bag, and in that bag is hammers and power tools and screwdrivers and so forth. You would probably assume that that person is a tradesman or carpenter, and you would probably be right. Imagine we looked inside of you in your bag. What gifts, what talents will we find? That then becomes the clue to what you should be doing in your life right now. And that's how you're going to release your greatness. Just like I did over 12 years ago when I left that law firm. I was working at that law firm and I said, you know what, this is it. I'm out of here. I have to add value to others. I know there's more to my life than working and paying bills. I know there's more to my life than trying to keep up with debt and paying debt off and getting in debt and paying off debt and getting in debt and paying off. I know there's more to my life than that. So I left that law firm. I resigned and I left the job, what I like to say, I left the job and started my work. And as long as you have identified what that gift is in you, you'll never be without work. You'll never be without work. Now, you may lose your job. You may be, quote unquote, jobless, but you'll never be workless. There's always work to do because there's answers inside of you. There's an ability in you. And those gifts that you have, they produce solutions. If you want to write this down, it's a continuum of things. The gifts produce solutions. The solutions create credibility, right? People see that it's working. It's social proof. The credibility highlights your success, right? We're talking about success. We're talking about understanding what you were born to do and doing it. We're talking about the fact that your success begins by identifying the problems that you were born to solve, then moving in the direction to solve them. And from that success, it gives rise to influence, where people will basically shift their priority to adopt your own, to do what you're doing, to buy your product, to buy your services. And the influence is when other people, like I said earlier, it begins to influence them and they become admired and inspired. They admire you and are inspired to do something that they were born to do. Because we were never meant to compete or compare with other people. That's just not the way that God designed it. You were meant to live your own signature life, to provide the problems that you were born to be the solution for, and understand that the wealth comes from within you. The wealth don't come because you got a degree. The wealth doesn't come in your life because you got a high-paying job. Because like I said earlier, they can say, hey, we don't need you anymore. They can give you two fingers. Say, hey, we don't need you anymore. You've done great. but company's moving or the company is folding or whatever. Now, what are you going to do? And I don't want you to be in a position where you find yourself jobless because you never discovered your work. Your work is that seed that's in you, that gift, that talent, that ability. And the way you're going to get it out is begin to move in that direction. Begin to move in that direction. So that's what I have for you today. But I want you to contact me. I want you to contact me because I want to talk to you to see where you are in your life right now. I want to see what business or product or service that you have in you that maybe you're overlooking. Maybe you have not made sense of it, and you just don't know what that looks like in your life right now. Well, I want you to call me or email me. Like I said, there's many ways to get in touch with me. If I don't answer, my assistant may answer, but we're definitely going to get in touch with you. We're going to set an appointment, and I want to talk to you and see where you are and how we can get you to release your greatness, how we can get you to release the greatness that's in you so that you can be the answer in your world and in the world around you. Thank you very much.
Amazing, amazing. Gosh, Osazee, I'm sitting here trying to moderate, take notes, listen. That was a wealth of knowledge, and we so appreciate you stopping by the Birthing Your Greatness Summit to do lunchtime learning today and bring that topic. I mean, guys, those of you who are listening, and I see the notes in the comments. I see the shares. We really appreciate it. Osazee is giving you a wealth. I mean, so many different ways to reach him, but absolutely his email address. Or you can always go to also to schedule that 15-minute. He said 30-minute. I was like, oh no, because I know him. 30
Yeah,
minutes.
right.
But that 15-minute console, because you go, I mean, he's a lover of people and he's a servant. And so absolutely you will enjoy that. He is my coach and really got me off to an amazing start with the collaborative you and even getting my mindset and my mind right for the next level for what I'm doing. So I absolutely recommend it. I put on there, I've been literally fighting with this machine. You know, I'm not a technology person at all, but guys, there is availability to reach him. Again, certainly email him for that 15-minute call or go to the bit.ly link. It's in the comments. Also, for those of you who don't know, we are in the throes of the Birthing Your Greatness Summit. This is the end of week 2. What a fabulous way to end week 2. This summit will go through till October the 16th. And if any of you have missed anything, because so much has gone forth, make sure that you register to get the replays. That is at bit.ly/BYG Summit. You'll get all of the replays. You don't want to miss anything. Osazee, now this is your first lunchtime learning. You're coming back in about a week or so, correct?
Coming back on the 12th.
Yes, guys.
So be in the place. We're talking about purpose. We're trying to get you not only your purpose, but your paper. How many of you want the money, right? Because purpose produces paper.
Come on now. So
they grow on the tree.
Absolutely. So he will be back on the 12th. Now that week he's starting off the week. Either he gonna be I mean, you know, if you know anything about track, the person that starts and the anchor is amazing. So he's gonna start that week. I actually anchor that week. So we're gonna tag team you guys, and what's in the middle is phenomenal. Stay tuned. Next week we have a totally new lineup. It's coming to you, and we're coming to you hard because we want you to birth your greatness. It is time out for you playing small, like he said. I mean, you need to live your signature life, and you need to know why you're here and transition into it. Osazee, is there anything else you want to say before we let the people go?
I just want to let you know that whatever it is in your life that you have a challenge with, don't look at it as a challenge or a problem. Look at it as an opportunity. Look at it as an opportunity to learn. Look at it as an opportunity to grow. Look at it as an opportunity to, once you have overcome that, to you be able to repackage that and pay it forward. Help somebody else find out, how do they get over that. Maybe it's a divorce you've had. Maybe it's some abuse in your life. Maybe it's bankruptcy. Maybe it's, you know, some sickness. Whatever that is, that represents an opportunity for you to walk in the purpose that you were born for. I can't stress that enough, because the gifts in you, the talents in you, the abilities in you, just like I did. After leaving that law firm, I worked there for 10 years. And after 10 years, I said, wait a minute, there's something more to my life. And I took that chance. I stepped out in faith, and it's paid off. So I want you, whatever that thing is you're going through, look at it as an opportunity, and also see your life as more than just taking up air. You're here for a reason. There's a
Yeah.
purpose for your life. There's greatness in you.
Yeah.
We're waiting to see it come out.
Absolutely amazing. Thank you for closing us out, and thank you guys for joining us. We will see you on Monday for part 3. I mean, week 3 of the BYG Summit. Our lunchtime learning is fire, y'all. It is fire. Don't forget to join the Facebook group too, Birthing Your Greatness. That Facebook group can be, you can find it at bit.ly BYGFB group. All right, guys, we are out. Peace. See you on Monday.